All right, now we're going live. Got that and got that. Sarah's on her way, she said. Give her a minute. Good evening, everybody. It does show 5:30, but we're going to wait for a moment. We're waiting for Councilwoman Kakoli to join us via Zoom. As we're waiting, I'm going to throw out there something for you guys, and I'll get it out there in my posts as well. Just a reminder not to park in front of the sidewalk accesses. Most of our sidewalks have the sloping ramps for ADA compatibility. And if people park in front of those, it makes it difficult to get up and down on the sidewalks. So admit she's joining in. So I'd appreciate it. And I know some folks would too. So thank you guys for thinking about that when you're parking uptown. Welcome aboard, Councilwoman Kakoli from down in the holler. You are muted, by the way.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Here I am.
All right. I show 5:31 on my clock. We will call the November 15th City Council meeting to order. Those in attendance will rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you guys tonight for being out there. Here at City Hall, we have Councilman Howard Doyakos Murja, Finance Officer Jody Rogers, Deputy Clerk Fraunfelder, Melody from the Acantha, and Chuck, and I'm not even, my last name is bad enough, but Chuck from Teton Pass. How's that?
You did Doyakos just fine.
Yeah, but I'm around you enough
Not
to
that
know
hard.
that. I'm not, yeah.
It's a silent H.
That's why I reach out to Melissa, because it's easier. Hey, Melissa. So, first thing tonight would be the minutes from the meeting of November 1.
I move to approve.
I have a motion.
A second.
B and a second from Councilwoman Kakoli. Changes or additions, corrections? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Did you oppose or are you still?
No, I think that's a delay.
Was it a delay for being opposed, or are you eyeing to?
No, it was, no, I eyed. It was I, Captain.
You made it.
I just say you second the vote. Yeah, thank you. Minutes passed. We know you're out of state. Anybody else? Oh, wait a minute. Councilman Kakoli, would you like to request permission to come back into the state? Anyone else leaving?
I am gone next weekend. I'm leaving the 24th and I will be back the 28th.
There's a chance I might be in Lethbridge on the 24th, but I don't know that for sure yet.
Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, Edmonton on Black Friday is a lot of fun.
What about you? I know you still, you got it done?
I'm good until,
Into December now?
yeah,
Waiting for the roads to get worse?
20. Yeah. I'll probably disappear around the 21st
Okay,
through the end of the year.
we'll deal with that come December then. First, item under new business is the vote on revolving loan fund application for Teton Pass ski area. Chuck, do you want to come up and explain what it is, or you want us just to walk through the app and go from there?
No, I'm happy to explain.
If you hop on up there, we'll get you on the camera and.
Good.
Yep, you're good to go.
Requesting $20,000 to put towards some infrastructure at the ski area to try to bring it up to like the 1930s sort of technology. Maybe a slightly more consistent source of power. As some of you guys may know, we do not have power up there at the ski area. We're 11 miles from 3-phase and about 8 miles from single phase. So it presents some unique challenges, some of which you asked me if I had a webcam going up there and do not.
That's an obvious reason why
I do
not.
not
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
power I can't keep things going when I'm not there. So with that, take a minute of your time to explain the scenario. You guys will likely be able to gather this, but there's a few different needs for power during the operation, after hours, and then also when we're not there. And they vary significantly. So during the operation, when the chairlift is running, it's the most demanding need that we have, and it requires 480-volt three-phase power of quite some significance. So we use a diesel generator currently to provide that power. That happens from 9:30 to 4. And when we shut the chairlift down, we're basically just operating a neighborhood. It's a few buildings in a base area, more than a house, but less than a city, you know. And so when we do that, we can scale down. We don't need to produce as much power. So I've purchased another generator that's smaller. It's also diesel. Diesel happens to be the most efficient fuel to be able to produce power. So then we use that after the lift shuts down, keep the bar open, the restaurant going, and to be able to keep the equipment warm, plugged in so that we can start the snowcats and the plows, etc. What I'm trying to do with this loan is to provide 24-hour power in a smaller capacity so that we can run things like the internet, weather stations, webcams, and lights and refrigerators and basic things so that the comfort level and the ability to run the business gets a little bit easier and more manageable.
So basically just the chalet then, or
It's like we're gonna go through our lodge and pick the most important circuits and run those. We wouldn't be able to likely power everything with what I'm trying to do because essentially not being grid tied, everything has to be under a capacity of batteries. So the reason I'm asking for it now, and as opposed to 5 or 10 years ago, battery technology has gotten a lot better. And we can now purchase enough battery power, lithium iron phosphate, to store the capacity of 3 or 4 days worth of internet, lights, computers, etc. We'll have to also have an inverter to be able to convert battery to line power. And then traditionally, this would be like an off-grid, you know, type of scenario, and you would use solar or wind to build this battery bank up when you're not using it. And
does the wind blow up there?
one time it did, but that was years ago.
That was in the 70s.
Yes.
We have a unique situation where we're overproducing power when we're running diesel generators. Because diesel generators have to be sized for the maximum possible startup loads.
Right.
So we're constantly overproducing electricity during the day, which is going to charge our batteries. So at 6 p.m. when the last person goes from the bar, I can shut all the generators down. We could be running on stored battery power for free, essentially paying the system off with the savings on diesel. So it's the most similar thing I can relate it to is like the solar system that went on the swimming pool. You know, you directly are paying through gas to heat the pool, and you install a, you know, $20,000 system. The payback on this is going to be likely less than 2 years. Diesel fuel's gone up, and if I keep the generators running, which I've had to do to keep the refrigerators cold and the freezers going, etc., and to be able to work until, you know, 10 p.m. at night, it just costs a lot of money. So this is kind of the plan. I've spec'd everything out within that. The scale of $20,000, you know, fits within this loan application. I likely could try to find a way to pay for this in other ways, but I've successfully used this grant in the past, or this loan in the past, and I think it's a great idea, and it allows me to move a little bit faster with the plan that I have. So that's my request, and if you have any questions.
So
That's-
is this something you would have hopefully in place by the end of this season, or would it be a next season thing?
It's gonna be this season, and had I been a little bit more ready this summer to get everything in a row, I would have liked to have had it going already, but the plan is basically, as the money becomes available to me, if it is granted, get the equipment on the way. And once equipment's on the way, it's gonna take you know, electrician, few days to install and kind of figure out which circuits we want. But it's, again, the reason, this stuff used to be very complicated and electrical engineers involved, et cetera, but more and more people are doing this with off-grid living as
Mhm.
well as,
Even
setting up your van with solar and batteries, et cetera. That the systems that are out there today are a lot more turnkey and plug and play.
Yeah, they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so, the inverter itself is an expensive piece of equipment, but it's also the solar charge controller and the grid tie system, so we can basically pass everything through so that you're, able to do it with a few switches versus having to hire an engineer to do it all.
okay.
So it would be likely after Christmas time that we would have time and get everything up and running, but we'd like to see it happen this year.
Cool.
I would say that, as it's mentioned, they've paid off their loan, previous loan in the past. The revolving loan committee, through an email, has recommended that the city council approve this loan. Mel, do you have any questions? Questions?
I move approval of the application.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman D,
I will second it.
a second by Councilman Merja. Mr. Plummer, questions? Two thumbs up.
Hurry up, give him the check.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I heard her say aye. You're muted again, Sarah. We saw you mouth it, but we saw, yeah. Aye.
Aye.
Captain.
Those opposed? We will try and get the paperwork together as quick as we can. Jody's up to her eyeballs in paperwork already, so I don't know where it sits in her pile.
Well, if you guys will allow, I'll send it out, but I can do it tomorrow. I just need the information from you.
Good.
Is that fast enough?
Oh, yeah.
Don't know.
Okay.
The bank was open.
Thank you, sir, and good luck for a good season.
Here,
You know,
You guys, yeah.
let's get the snow on the ground. What we can do.
Get some.
Yeah.
You can truck it.
Yes.
I don't think that's cost effective.
Ma'am, you want to sign in so we know who's here?
just right on the pedestal.
Podium,
On
Carla.
the podium there, guy.
You can talk though.
You don't have to talk if you don't want to, unless you're there and you want to. Item 2 on tonight's agenda would be task order number 8 with Great West to do our subdivision regulation development.
I move approval of the task order.
I have a motion to approve from Councilman D,
I'll second.
a second from Councilman Catoli. Questions? Concerns?
Is this tied into our overall plan for zoning?
It is part of the zoning.
Yeah.
And as we're growing and with the new changes and stuff like that, we're finding it going to be a little bit easier.
We're
for us
bumping up
to-
against old
Yeah.
code. old
We
code,
are,
but
and
yeah.
it'll be easier for us to have it in-house, a more direct route to get our questions answered and get taken
Mhm,
care of.
mhm.
As far as city county planning goes, it shouldn't have any effect on the board or anything like that. It's just going to give us the chance to get it done in-house and pass it through.
Excellent.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll get that one signed. Task order number 9, general planning services. Again, we are helping to administrate the city zoning codes, subdivision regulations, review certificates of survey, subdivision exemptions, and other planning and land use related topics.
I move approval of task order 9.
Second.
Motion from Councilman D and a second from Councilman Merja.
I will note that we do need to get them to update our address.
Mhm.
Just noticed that.
Yes, they did. They got to get our new address on our stuff. They got a S38 still.
I'm great with it.
Yeah,
No,
thank
I
you.
just noticed it. yeah.
I would have never caught that. Again, we are turning to Great West to be a one-stop shop for us.
Mhm.
And our relationship with them has been very strong, very healthy, robust. And when you ask a question,
Get an answer.
you get an answer in a relatively quick amount of time. We're not
And that
waiting.
was the intent when we initially
Waiting.
hired them.
Yes.
You know, absolutely.
So, any more questions? Mel? Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? I will get that one signed tomorrow morning. Now we're gonna get into some heavier lifting.
Mhm.
As our next item is to vote on resolution number 894, which is an intent to raise water prices.
And
This is, oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. I'll listen first.
I need a motion to,
I so move. Resolution 894.
Second.
motion from Councilman Diaz, second from Councilman Howard. I need a motion and approval before we can discuss.
Right, yep, that's,
This is in association with the upcoming water project to meet our requirements with our loan carriers and such, and we have not raised our water rate since 2012.
well, yeah, it's been a decade.
Yeah, it's been a decade, and shame on us. We could have probably done this earlier and through different phases. The state legislature allows irrigation districts the opportunity to annually increase their rates, do it with a COLA, a cost of living allowance. But yet they do not allow that for the municipalities to do that. So we have to go through this process by which we do this.
So I've got a question on this.
Okay.
Is it just the pages backwards, Jody, in the packet? Am I
Yes.
understanding that? Okay.
They're
The
covered,
certificate as to resolution.
yeah, they're covered.
Okay, okay,
And the 894, I need to write that on there.
okay. I just want to make sure I was reading that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yep. Thank you.
I noticed that, but then I wasn't, yeah.
Yeah, so it,
Okay.
I didn't do this one.
So as you can see, our base rates will go from 2288 to 2738 for as of January 2023. And then in July of 23, they will go from 2738 to 3188 for the basic household meter. Your cost per gallons are also going up. So instead of 222 per thousand, it will go to 297 per thousand in January, and then 372 per thousand in July of 23. We also, the council proposes to also increase the unmetered monthly charge to a flat rate of 31.88 per month. This puts us in compliance with our loans. It gives us our ability to pay off, have our O&M and everything well within this.
So I guess it's just a procedural question. Since we do have two changes, can we do that in one resolution? Well, so it'd be the January and then the July.
Yeah, it's a graduated change.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're,
Because we did that with the sewer, didn't we? Yeah,
You can do up to 3 years.
Okay.
Three a year.
Without.
perfect.
Another meeting.
Then I would call the question.
Those in favor of resolution 894 for the intent, and we will then hold a public hearing on December 20th.
December 20th was when the public hearing. Just so you know, it's quite a process to do this.
It is a huge process.
So everybody will get a mailer. We'll mail those out on the 2nd. It goes into the agenda 3 times as an ad or
Notice.
3 times. Then we have the public hearing. It's
Trying to get as many people.
to everybody to understand,
Yep.
or to know, we are also going to be writing a letter of talking points of why
Why
we're doing this.
Mhm.
It isn't,
Jody's been working on that letter, but Mike's gonna have to finish up
yeah, I don't have
the technical jargon.
technical to do. I've got the rest of it, so it, hopefully that will be helpful. I think, the people that I have told understand, but it's, we can't function on what, we probably should have started this.
And again,
Well, and we put it in my, if memory serves, we put it off because we were raising the sewer rates and we weren't gonna raise them both at the same time.
Yeah.
But we never revisited it.
That was garbage.
Was that garbage? Okay,
But we, in the last few years, but until we knew what we were doing, there was no sense in raising.
right.
It, it's just,
Well, it's been 10 years.
yeah, it has been. And again, in my humble opinion, we're paying for the sins of our fathers by not taking care of the system earlier. Had we had proper maintenance and care over the years, we probably wouldn't be at the point where we have to do all this.
well, and to be really honest with you, we're still below.
Oh, yeah, we're a long
I
ways
was
below
gonna ask, what's
state
that
average.
comparison for?
We're in
municipalities
the bottom 5% of cost for water.
Even with this new,
Yep,
We're still.
yeah, according to Washington Rural Water, we're near the bottom,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Vote on resolution number 895, the intent to raise garbage.
I move resolution 895.
Have a motion from Councilman D,
Second.
second from Councilman Merja. Okay, North Montana Joint Refuge Disposal District, I gotta get it right. Had a meeting last Thursday, which I did not go to, Mel, but I had probably a 30-minute conversation with Ron Collier, director, on the phone. It was one of the more productive conversations we've ever had and that I've ever had. They're raising their rates again. So in turn, we have to raise our rates again. Part of the reason that their rates are going up is people don't do what's asked.
But that's not why we're raising it. No,
Our costs of operating are,
the same as theirs, but
Yes.
not because of that.
no, the same as theirs. It's the same reasoning. Our cost of doing business is increasing.
Mhm.
But one of the things that they did, they're gonna start charging $1 a yard for branches.
Hmm.
And at first, we had some, heartburn
Resistance.
about that. But what's happening is when you take a load of branches up to the dump, there'd be nothing larger than 3 inches. And what's happening is people are putting Yule logs, for lack of a better term, on the bottom of their load of branches. Shows branches, they go dump it, and then when they go to burn that thing, they've got logs in there the size of garbage cans. And they burn and they burn and they burn, and they can't get cleaned up. Same with the chips. When you chip a tree, some of it's not happening here, but in other municipalities, those chips get hauled up there and they dump them in those burn pits, and they don't burn and they don't biodegrade. So it creates a problem. In the past, one of the issues they've had, is they have to road a tractor down to all these things and push the branches in and do all that stuff. Here in Choteau, we do that. We'll take our loader up there and we'll push the branches in for them, and we will continue to do that as being a good neighbor, because it's easier for us to do that. Our gravel pit's right there. We can take care of that. They, I guess, are also required to remove the ash out of there from time to time. We don't want to take our wheel roller down in there, because even if you scrape through the bottom when you're hauling out, there's potential for flat tires, because there's nails. They burn a
Pallets.
ton of pallets on that way. So we're trying to find a way that we could work with a local contractor who might have a track type excavator to get in there and clean it where it would not
Putting tired.
put tire things down in there. Mike said we could do that with our little excavator, but it might take some time, more time than, So anyways, it was a very productive meeting with Ron, and I appreciate him wholeheartedly taking the time out of his schedule to chat with me and fill me in on that. If people would do what's asked of them, we wouldn't be where we're at. And it goes back along those lines. I'm going to digress here for a second. Picking up leaves with the vacuum on. If you've got branches in it, we can't pick them up. Or if we suck up a branch and it hurts the vacuum, it knocks it offline, and then everybody pays. So I'll admit at some point in time, I probably put crap in that burn pile that's too big to go, not thinking about it, but I'll be more cognizant of that going forward, just to go from there. So as we look at the proposed rate increases, we would go, our current rate is $11 a month for a 95-gallon container. Do we have any 65s left
No.
that are out there?
Issuing any new ones.
There's a few, not very many.
Okay.
We're not ordering any.
We're not, we're rotating the 65s
Don't take mine. I like mine.
into 95. So current rate is $11 a month. 2023 rate would be $13 a month. And then 2024 would be $15 a month for the 95 gallons. The 65 would go from $8.25 a month to $9.75 a month in 23, and then $11.25 in 24. The commercial would be $11 unit for an ERU, $13 a month for an ERU in 23, and $15 for a month for an ERU in 24. And an ERU is 26 cubic yards of waste per year, correct?
Yes.
But it says there.
Thank you. A 1.5 yard dumpster picked up once a week equals 3 ERUs. A 2 yard dumpster picked up once a week equals 4 ERUs, and that's how those are charged when they go out. Refuse rates and charges for refuse not placed in the containers and dumpsters will be determined as necessary and approved by city council, which means our little stickers are probably going to go up at some point in time.
Probably Tell the most to me
I'm
in the
out.
last few years, yeah.
I use the last two that I have, so I'll be in.
And they last forever.
They do.
Mhm.
They're like forever
Like,
stamps.
like forever stamps,
Yes. So, any questions? Mel?
Jody, when's the last time we raised garbage rates?
It was just a couple of years ago.
Right.
Unfortunately, when
Right after I came to the board,
rates,
too.
fuel prices were half what they are now.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
running that garbage truck.
and the truck is out of warranty. And needs about $10,000 worth. It might be stinking work. We just weren't planning on, especially fuel rates going up as they have. We took a pretty big hit.
Yeah, the graph on that
And
thing
then-
kills us.
And we had one set of the garbage cans, the 95s that we ordered. They didn't last.
No, they
at
didn't.
all.
They,
And so we've had to replace again. The first ones that we purchased when we first did this lasted over 10 years. So these last ones that we purchased have not. Mike did talk with them, and I think the last round that we got are better, but we need more.
Mhm.
So, and we need dumpsters. Our dumpsters, they're welding the dumpsters.
Yeah.
We're a mass
With it.
triage unit when it comes to
Yeah.
dumpsters with welding and
Mhm.
fabrication to hold them together.
Is that a matter of like water getting in, like in the snow, like melt off, that kind of thing, or is it just?
Getting beat up with the trucks. They had to move them and they had.
And it's a combination because they do hold, they're
Yeah.
non-porous, so they're gonna get water in them.
Mhm.
but you don't wanna make them porous because you don't want.
So no,
Yeah, exactly.
or bears smelling what's in them.
Yeah,
or- yeah,
yep.
yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Again, I think our garbage rates are very, very compatible.
They're very low.
Yeah, with other communities in our size across the state. Any additional questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will get that taken care of. Item 6 would be a quick discussion on emergency notification system. As you know, I've met with Code Red and went through their proposal and stuff for the city of Choteau and this town of Fairfield. Met with Text My Gov. This is an entity out of Logan, Utah. It is strictly text-based communications. There's no emails, there's no social media, there's no telephone lines or anything like that. It's strictly a text thing. They can do this pretty much the same things we can pick from one house if it's registered to the city, the map will pull up and there'll be red dots on the homes that have registered that have a cell phone in them. You send out your text message and it goes to those folks. One of the bonuses to a program like this, they can text back. They can text pothole and it'll ask a series of questions. You take a picture of a pothole and submit it. Or other issues within the community, stop sign or tree
Street
limb or
sign,
whatever. Yeah,
But the big thing is citizens can reply.
yes. It is 25,000 texts a year. For our initial year would be $2,000, then it'd be $1,500 for the second year, and it's a 2-year contract. An additional 25,000 text messages would be another $300. So when you text out, if you texted 900 people, there goes 900 texts.
Mhm.
If 450 respond, there goes 450 texts.
So
So
inbound outside.
So it's like the old inbound, outbound.
messaging,
where-
text messaging rates may apply.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
so do we get a break after 8 o'clock at night?
No, No, it's not like the old school. Yes, if
Oh,
we
that's-
don't use them all, they roll over those.
So if we only use 20,000, we get an extra 5,000. Okay, okay.
That is correct.
And
You
if
want
you're-
450 people replying about the
Mm.
pothole?
Well, so.
Well, if we give them your text cell
Yeah, yeah.
phone, yes, we do.
So for what it's worth, typically in this, I saw Twilio, this is what it's.
Yes.
The provider for the SMS,
Oh, really? Okay.
you're effectively setting up like an AI response system, so it can go into a form. It's not like 450 dings on the mayor's phone like you usually get.
No, it would be, if you text pothole, the AI is gonna send a
Get the
list of
information and.
location, nearest street, things like that.
And then an image, yeah. And put it into a database that
Yes,
you can cross-reference and look at.
Sounds like.
we would have to get a text number. Yeah.
But the number, instead of being a number that's from out of state.
Yeah, it would be a
Yeah.
406.
Be a 406.
It could be a
Would it
five
be
nine
a
oh
four oh
number.
six or would it be a 5-digit number?
What's that?
Well,
It would be a
normally
406.
it'd be
It'll
It
be
would be a
406,
406.
590, whatever, 788
So
or.
we've got to get a dedicated.
We would
phone
have to get a
line for it. Okay,
dedicated, which we believe we have one
And
already.
through Twilio, I mean, they can either provide it or we can import. one of our own.
Right,
That's no
right.
problem.
We could actually work with Three Rivers to get a 466 number. So I don't want to take any action on this. I have to talk to Mayor Tacky about it still, and what they want to do. The plus to this is it's not code red, so it's a different platform than what the county has. So the county, you know,
Sorry.
we'd be separate from the county.
Okay.
The downside to this is it's not code red.
There's
And
not as much
it doesn't,
service.
this is a roll down your windows, no air conditioning model. Where code red is leather interior, Google Phonics stereo with a moon rock needle, power windows.
Yeah, but this one, if we're just, I mean, what really truly what we're using is things like. We're going to be sewer jetting in your area, you know, and if we use this, it is. No matter where you are, you're gonna get that text message.
Yeah.
So somebody can go to your house, hopefully, not locked, and they can cover your toilets. You know, it is, that's really truly.
How we started out looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and those are gonna be the biggest issues is, and you know what, if some people don't have a cell phone, so they're not getting a text message. But something like this, that would cut down the number of phone calls that we have to do,
Sure.
because when we start doing the sewer jetting. I did it last year, it was, and you know, you call a lot of people.
Heck, when we had the
And
water
then
shut
when
down.
they can't get there, 'cause they have an issue, then you have to call them again the next day.
Mhm.
And the next day. And you know, if you could cut that to the point that we only had to call 4 people instead of 30.
Mhm.
Because the rest are handled by text message.
Right.
And truly, and that's truly what we
That's-
started this for out as.
That was my only thing, you know, and. Code
You're-
red
You're
versus,
technologically
I'm
advanced.
technologically advanced, you know, my concern with people who don't have cell phones. With code red, you can get them on email, but how many of the people who don't have?
Plus the
phone
landline.
And the landline, how many of the people who don't have a phone, don't have email, probably pretty decent sized,
Or don't check.
pretty overlapped, you
Yeah.
know, amount,
I
so,
check my personal email once a day at 10 o'clock at night.
yeah. So,
I mean, it's the basics of.
From a cost standpoint, our first year is $100 more than what code red would be.
Right.
But for the town of Fairfield, it's double what they'd be paying. Not taking that call, sorry. It's a robocall.
No,
mhm.
we figured it. 6 o'clock at night. Anyway, that's
So anyways,
fine.
Yeah.
think about it, and we'll have an action item on our first meeting in December to make a decision, so we can get it implemented in January. Go from there. I will give you guys, if you want a copy of the text my gov, I would tell you to go check out textmygov.com. And look at what they can do. Seriously, most of it is available out there. Their texts are available Monday through Friday, 6 AM to 5 PM. So we'd have no weekend support, but yeah, just go to textmygov.com and take a peek and see what, it shows you what you can do.
Thank you. Thank you for staying on this.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it took me a while to get hooked up with TextMyGov. They kept having some problems, but I got a chance to talk to the guys by Zoom, and it was a very good meeting. Actually, they told me gave me a number, it says text this to this number, and it came me back to the Choteau Chamber of Commerce Christmas stroll site, because they'd set it up in the back. They'd gone up and looked at our stuff in Choteau and set it up that way. Last item for action tonight would be claims, pay the bills. These are the remainder of the bills. We should have no more to worry about until December, correct?
Right.
These were the last thing that came in. I have a motion from Councilman Howard. Second,
Second.
second from Councilman D. Nothing out of the ordinary jumps off the line at us.
Just the town that makes.
Mostly the town bills and, yeah.
Because our meeting was on first.
Mhm.
So. Those in favor?
I-
Opposed? We shall pay the bills. we're not gonna go through reports tonight. They're on file. For those who want to take a view at them, to be honest with you, I did not review them this month because there's just been too much paperwork going on. At this time, we would open the floor to comment, public comment from the floor for anything that's not on the agenda. Yes, no, maybe.
That's a way to put it personally.
This is Carla Doncaster. She and her husband Kelsey and their kids bought the greenhouse that Frank Bell bought.
I knew who he was because she'd been here just dropping off apples, but I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but most people don't come unless they got,
First.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
well, welcome.
And she sent us a form, she did a form, and it was, we do a good job for them.
These guys made
Yes, it was. And yeah, our meetings are first and third Tuesdays at 5:30. And you've seen the meat and potatoes of how we operate. Normally, every morning I do a post, letting folks know what's going on our City of Choteau Facebook page. Try and update our sporting events on the weekends and stuff. I took a couple days off to go hunting. But we're very, very progressive in how we get our information out to folks and what we do. And feel free to join us, provide us with ideas and go from there.
And these are the faces of your councilmen.
This is your
ward.
side of town,
Yeah.
south side of town. So, Mel, do you have anything tonight that you want to add for us?
Thanksgiving, the pre-Thanksgiving quit cold turkey trot 5K is Saturday, weather regardless.
On the 19th?
On the 19th.
Oh, I'd like to run, but I'm in Bozeman.
Oh, I'd like to run, but I got a bad knee.
I'm just that.
And we have our Thanksgiving dinner on the 22nd.
Yes.
I've got
Reservations?
information on that. If you,
Okay, get it down so we
You're
can get it
done.
out.
so we're not doing deliveries this year.
That was my next
Yeah,
question.
So folks can come between, I believe it's 11 and 1:30. There are limited cases where we might be able to do deliveries for folks who are homebound.
Okay.
But we are not doing like the previous couple years.
Are they doing this to go, or are they doing?
No, they'll do in the cafeteria or to go.
Okay.
You can come and get a meal and take it to go, but
Okay.
folks can eat in the deal.
The Catholic pie sales Tuesday night,
This Tuesday, next Tuesday.
next Tuesday, the
Next
20th.
yeah.
Second.
Today is Tuesday, is it not?
It is,
Yeah.
right.
Don't
I-
be, man, I go in the mountains for a couple days.
It's the
I'm
15th,
off.
and half- month half
You
over.
said the 22nd, right?
He said the 22nd.
So when are you guys doing the Thanksgiving dinner?
On
24th.
Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
20,
Okay.
yeah, 24.
Steve, you guys still need volunteers.
We absolutely would love volunteers. Contact Elka Stelnick. We need folks helping with prep and serving and cleanup, so absolutely. And the prep isn't just on Thanksgiving, it's a day or two before as well. Or Kathy Campbell is another person if you want to contact for prep help.
Thank you guys to the last snowstorm, getting your sidewalks cleared.
Mhm.
Expecting some more snow tonight, so be safe out there. Thank you, Choteau, and we are adjourned until 8/6 December 6th, the day that will live in infamy. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Let me leave.